Today I'm here to talk about SEO musts for the non-SEO. And a lot of times when I tell small business owners and website owners that they need to do SEO, it's kind of like I told them to eat their vegetables. They're kind of like, oh, do I have to? Like, I know that I should. I just don't. Like, okay, do you have to? Well, there are almost 12 billion searches on Google every month. That's on Google alone, not counting any other search engine. 93% of all online experiences begin with a search engine. And yes, that does include when your mom Googles Facebook and then clicks on Facebook to go to Facebook. That's search. It still counts. And 64% of all web traffic to all websites on the internet starts with organic search. So, we also know that on the search engine results page, 1 in 3 people who search just click on the top result. Another 18% click on the second result. By the time you get down to the 4th and 5th results on the page, you're into the single digits in terms of the percentage of people who are searching who click. So, do you have a website that you want people to come to and then give you money in exchange for goods and services, or share or follow or like your stuff? Or maybe view ads and click on ads so you have some kind of revenue stream. Guess what? A website is not Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. It is not a marketing strategy. If you have a website and you want people to come to it, you need to do SEO. And I know everybody thinks, SEO, isn't that spam? I know a lot of people who have gotten really burned by an SEO agency. It's so spammy every time I go on a site and it seems all SEO'd and spammy. I hate it. SEO is not spam. Those people that you know who are doing SEO spam are doing it wrong. What search engine optimization is, it's part of digital marketing. What SEO is trying to do is figure out how people are searching for what you have and how you can tell Google and through Google your customers that you are the one who has it and that you are one of the best places on the internet to get whatever that thing is that you have. It's called marketing. Look it up. But Ruth, I'm so busy. If you own a business, you're so busy. And if you own a small business or you're just doing a website on your own as like a side project, you probably don't have a lot of budget. Plus, SEO is confusing. If you try to go on the internet to learn how to do SEO for your website and you don't have any kind of background in it, SEO can be really confusing. I know. I feel ya. I've been doing it full time, 50, 60 hours a week for the last 8 years, and sometimes I still find it confusing. But your choices aren't A, spend all of your time and effort on it being really confused and not knowing that you're doing it right. B, spend a ton of money paying somebody else to do it, although if you want to spend money to pay somebody to do it, you might as well pay us. Hashtag just saying. Or 3, do nothing. Those are not your options. That's false. There are things that you can do for your own website that will help you in organic search that are better than doing nothing, that won't take all your time and money. I believe in you. You can do it. Let's get started. Let's get started. I forgot I had a slide that said that. All right, if you do nothing else, if for the entire rest of my presentation you zone out and look at Facebook, please, at the very least, get some tracking installed on your website. Install some kind of web analytics. Anybody who's been on a diet can tell you that what gets measured gets improved. If you're not tracking what's going on in your website, nothing else I'm going to say here is going to matter because you're not going to know if it's working or not. I recommend Google Analytics. It's free. It's actually surprisingly robust. It's pretty easy to install. It's fairly easy to use. There's a ton of documentation about it online. For the vast majority of websites, Google Analytics is all the analytics software you need, unless your website is very large or very complex. Track it. Do it. Do it now. Well, don't do it now. Wait till I'm done talking. So when we talk about online search and how we're driving traffic to websites online, it's important to think about how people search. And this goes back to an idea that you've heard over and over again today about building relationships with people. This is a real life anecdote taken from my real life. I went on my honeymoon about a month ago. And when I was planning my honeymoon, I started researching it online. And I started by just saying, okay, Google, what are the best honeymoon destinations? That's a ton of information. It was all overwhelmed. Some of it really didn't apply to me. Like, I don't want to climb a mountain. So it was too much information. So I turned to Facebook and I asked my friends, where should we go on our honeymoon? My friends know me, they like me, they know what I like. I'm getting better information. From there I turn to social media and I go on Pinterest and I say, okay, what pictures do I like? I start pinning things that are beautiful, that resonate with me, that seem like places I might want to go with my new husband. And I decide, based on all of that information, that I want to go to Hawaii. So then I go back to Google and I search Hawaii vacations. Now, Hawaii vacations might sound like a keyword with purchase intent, but if you think about it, I'm really not ready to buy. I don't know where I want to go in Hawaii. I don't know what I want to do. I'm still actually gathering information, but you can see that I've moved down the sales funnel from the top where I'm just like, where should I go? To now, I want to go to Hawaii, but I need more information. So I don't buy when I search Hawaii vacations. Instead, I turn to a content provider who I already know and trust. In this case, it was the not.com, which is what I used to plan my wedding and create my wedding website, because I didn't have time to build a website for myself. I only do that for other people. And I read all about it, and I finally decided, okay, I want to go to Maui. So then I searched Maui honeymoon packages, and that is a nice keyword. That is a keyword of somebody who is ready to buy, and that's the keyword that turned into the sale. But every single step along this journey is an opportunity for brands to build relationships with me. Every single step that somebody takes when they research products online is an opportunity for you to get your stuff, your brand in front of them. People don't just sit down, Google dishwashers, click the first result, and buy a dishwasher. That's not real. That's not how people use the internet. Instead, really think about how you're building relationships, you're building a presence online, even for that top of funnel and mid-funnel keyword that's maybe not going to convert into a sale right away, that ultimately is going to build trust. So that by the time I'm ready to buy, even if you don't rank number 1 for Maui honeymoon vacations, maybe you rank number 3, but I've seen you on the web. I've read good content from you, I trust you, I buy from you anyway. That's the power of search marketing. Having a website is like throwing a party. It's like throwing a party that's just going on all the time that you want people to come to. But if you're throwing a party in this house, nobody is going to come to that party. Google is not going to be like, yeah, you should totally go to this party, you're going to get tetanus, it's going to be great. That's not real. So before you start inviting people to your website party, because, as we just talked about, you're trying to build trust with them, and because you're trying to show Google that you are the kind of website that deserves to get ranked for searches, you have to fix up your house. So quickly, let's talk about things that a website should be. A website should be fast. The average user's attention span is 2 seconds long. After 2 seconds of load time, people lose interest, they stop paying attention, they bounce away, they put down their phone. 2 seconds is really fast. 2 seconds is faster than most websites can be, unless they're awesome or very small. So 4 seconds, I think, is a more reasonable target for most people's websites. I've included a tool up here. It's the Pingdom website speed test. It's free. You can put it on any URL on the internet and see about how long it takes to load. If you're using my pal Google Insights, like I just told you, Google Analytics, like I just told you, you should be using, Google Analytics actually has page speed insights built into the tool that will tell you how long your pages are loading and give you suggestions that you can give to your developer to make your website faster. Website being fast is even more important when we talk about mobile, which brings me to my next point. A website should be responsive. A responsive website looks good on a big old monitor, it looks good on a tablet, and it looks good on a mobile phone. It may not look exactly the same on all 3 of those screens, but it looks good and is entirely usable on all of these screens. This is especially important if you have a business whose goal is for people to come to a physical location and give you money. If you have a store of any kind with a brick and mortar location, you need to really be thinking about the mobile experience of your website, because 50% of all organic searches done on mobile phones are done with the intent of finding a local business. And 61% of those 50% of searches that have local intent will convert to a purchase. Once they get in the store, that's where you're good at stuff. It's your store. You know how to sell them stuff once they get in there. But if you don't have a good mobile website, they'll see your bad mobile website and assume that you don't care about them. How dare you? and they're just gonna click away and go someplace else. A website also needs to be well built and well coded. I could talk about this all day, and I have in fact talked about it all day before, but we don't have all day. David told me I only had 20 minutes, and at 22 minutes he was going to start yelling at me. So instead, I'm going to refer you to this resource built by my former employer, Moz.com. It's called the Web Developers Cheat Sheet. There's a URL for it. The slides will all be included along with the videos of the talks on the Confluence website after the show. You can also Google it. The Web Developers Cheat Sheet. I don't know if you know this, but Moz is pretty good at you being able to Google stuff. You're welcome. And check it out. Look at the coding suggestions that they have for having a well-built, cleanly coded website, and share them with your developer. Or if you're your developer, just read it and do it. And you will have a great foundation in which to start attracting search. And then a website needs to be easy to navigate. This is a screenshot of the homepage of a website for a business in Seattle. What do they do? How would you give them money in exchange for whatever it is they do or provide? Well, you don't know, do you? And that's because their website is hard to navigate. And I know that so many creative minds, like the creative minds in this room, really want to create a web experience that is special and unique and challenging and edgy, and that's great and that's fine. But you need to make sure that when somebody gets to your website, it's really, really easy for them to figure out what they're supposed to do next. Otherwise, they're not going to solve a mystery. It's not like fun mystery. It's like, I have things to do, and they're just going to leave. All right, now we've got our house all built. It's a nice house. People could come to a party in there. It's time to start putting up some decorations, and by decorations, I mean content. Now, when you're putting content on your website, it's important that you understand the difference between pictures and words. This is the screenshot of the Metropolitan Grill. It's a very fancy schmancy restaurant in Seattle. It's incredibly posh. You can see they have beautiful pictures. They have a couple of different nice navigation options. They've got this great paragraph about who they are and what they do. But when Google gets there, Google sees this. Ain't nothing there. The first words on this page that Google can read are "Follow Met Grill on Twitter." Now, do you think that their homepage is tailored around the goal, "Follow Met Grill on Twitter"? I don't. And that is because when they set up their website, they used pictures of text instead of text. So when you're putting text on your website, make sure it's not a JPEG of a paragraph. Make sure it's actual HTML text. Google is a robot. Robots can't see pictures. Robots can only read words. Now, when we talk about keyword use, we get to the part where everybody thinks that they hate SEO, because this is what they think SEO is. CashmereSweaters.com, your cashmere sweater source for cashmere sweaters. Cashmere sweater accessories. Buy cashmere sweaters online. No, it's not what we're doing here. That is not SEO. That is not marketing. It sounds crazy. You wouldn't buy from that website because it sounds crazy. You don't have to do that to use keywords. However, keyword research and using the correct search terms, using the search terms that people are using to search for your products on your website is really important. Chocolate Cupcakes has 9,900 searches a month. Mini Cocoa Cakes has less than 10. Fewer than 10? Doesn't matter. No matter how much you want to believe that what you sell are mini cocoa cakes and not chocolate cupcakes, those 9,900 people per month who just want a chocolate cupcake do not care. And if you don't say chocolate cupcakes on your website, Google's not going to know that you have chocolate cupcakes, and they're not going to send people who want chocolate cupcakes to you. You have to use keywords. How do you find out who searches for what keywords? There are a lot of keyword tools out there. Google's got a free one called the Google Keyword Planner. Signing in and signing up is a bit of a pain. They should take my advice about making things easy to navigate, but they're Google and they don't have to. Head to the Google Keyword Planner and put in some keywords. You can look at a bunch of different terms. You can see how many people search per month. You can narrow down to a local area, and not just a local area like Oklahoma City. I can narrow down to Norman, where I live, if I want to know how many people per month in Norman want a chocolate cupcake. Hint, it's everyone. Now, some of the things that Google Keyword Planner says are tailored around PPC. So they have things like cost per click, they have things like competition. Those aren't really going to apply to you. Really, what you should use Google Keyword Planner for is to put in a bunch of synonyms for your products and services and see which ones people are most likely to search on, and that's what you should target. So great, you've got your keyword list. Now let's put it on the page. There are a couple of places on a page where it's really important to put your keywords. You want to have 2 to 4 keyword phrases per page. If you have 4, they should probably be pretty closely related. And you target those in a couple of key areas. One is the title tag, which is a meta tag. It's on every page in your site. If you have any kind of content management system, chances are the title tag is the headline. That's how it is in WordPress. You just put in a title. When people search, they really like to see their keyword on the page. It makes them feel like they've come to the right place. So when you build a title tag, it should be 60 to 70 characters, so around 60, including spaces, and it should include your keywords. You should also put your keywords in your meta description tags. Now, meta description tags are not used by Google at all to rank. However, they're the text that is most likely to appear underneath your title tag in the search results. And a chance for you to create a little mini ad explaining to users why they should click. This becomes even more important on social media, because when you share a link on social media, what text appears under the title? It's your description tag! How many of you have tried to share a link on Google and when you paste it in, the text that appears under, or I'm sorry, on Facebook, and you paste it in, and the text that appears under it is really weird? Yeah? That is because whoever builds that site did not fill out their description tags, and Facebook's like, I'll just grab some text off the page. I don't know what it is. So put in your description tags, or they will get filled out for you and they won't be as good. Now it's time to put your keywords in your content. You don't have to stuff your keywords into your content. Just say what you were going to say anyway, using your keywords instead of synonyms for your keywords. That, in a nutshell, is how to work keywords into your regular content. Now, a word about content. In addition to the marketing copy that you're putting on your page, you should start thinking about creating other things. So, like, remember earlier when I was searching best honeymoon destinations? I might not be ready to buy for best honeymoon destinations, but if you create a great resource around the best honeymoon destinations, I might come back later and buy my honeymoon package from you. So start thinking about resources and things that you can create for your users to connect with them as individuals, which is what we learned about today, in ways that delight them, in ways that they will share and like and link to, using your keyword phrases. You also want to make sure that you have at least a couple hundred words on each page, because you want to make sure that you have enough on each page to let Google know that this page is not exactly the same as every other page on the internet. If Google thinks that all of your pages are too much the same, or you don't have enough content on each page, they might just not rank you at all. They've got an algorithm called Panda, which is intended to keep the eHows and the about.coms out of the world. Remember a couple years ago, everything you searched on was a completely useless eHow.com result, and now that doesn't happen anymore? That's because of Panda. So you want to try to create real, rich, at least somewhat lengthy content on your website that people could like and share and come to. There's a really, really oversimplification of all of that, but it's enough for you guys to get started. All right, so we built our house. We decorated. It's time to invite people over. Links are important because every link that a website gives you from one website to another is kind of like a vote for that website in Google's eyes. It's another website saying, oh, this website is good. I'm going to vote for it. So there are a couple of different things that Google looks at when they're looking at the websites that link to you. First is quantity. If I say, hi, I'm Ruth, I'm good at SEO, you're like, awesome, great. If 20 other people come up and say Ruth is good at SEO, you start to take that a little bit more seriously. So one of the things that Google looks at is how many total websites link to you. They also look at diversity. If the same person comes up to you 20 times and says Ruth is good at SEO, you don't count that as much as you would 20 different people coming up and saying it. If my mom comes up and says it 20 times, you're probably not going to take that seriously at all. The more diverse sources of links you have, the better. You want links from a bunch of different websites that are not all owned by the same person, that are not all part of some link network, separate, individual, discrete websites linking to you. And then authority. If you're walking past a crazy man on the street and he's yelling, Ruth is good at SEO, into a plastic bag, there's probably only so seriously you're going to be able to take that. But when Marissa says that I'm good at SEO, she knows what's up. If Kevin Durant came up and said, hey, Ruth is really good at SEO, you'd be like, that KD's smart, he knows. And you might take it a little bit more seriously. I actually have no idea how internet savvy KD is, but he's real nice. So you want to think about what are other websites that know enough about what you do that if they link to you, they might take it seriously. Websites that are topically related to you. If you're in the local sphere, other businesses from your local area. That's how you just demonstrate authority. Don't be shady when it comes to links. Resist the temptation to build links. Do not go into people's blog comments and spray your links to your site all over the place. Do not submit to every web directory in the world. It's shady. It has nothing to do with your users. Every link that you try to get to your website should be a link that somebody could conceivably see, click on, come to your site, and then give you money in exchange for goods and services, or whatever it is you're trying to do with your website. Don't be shady. Shady linking practices, terrible SEO practices have the potential to ruin the internet. The internet is our generation's most precious resource. Don't do it. Woo. Thank you. Right? So where do you get links? A great place to start getting links is to think about who your friends are. And I don't just mean who are your friends as a person. Who are your website's friends? What other businesses does your business work with? What associations does your business belong to? Where are there websites on the web where you already have a connection and you could say, hey, could you link to us? Also, what about people who are already talking about you? If they're talking about you and they're not linking, get a link. It's that easy. You can also take a minute and look at the websites that you want links from, that you maybe don't have a connection with, and start reaching out to them on social media. This, again, does not have to take all day. You can build a list of your target websites' Twitter profiles, and in 15 minutes a day, start talking to them. Don't just start by saying, hi, I'd like a link, because that's weird. Instead, spend 5 minutes a day looking at what people say and replying to it. Answer questions. Say, hey, I think that's a great idea. Spend 5 minutes a day sharing what other people have said. Sharing is caring. When you share something that somebody else has done, that makes them feel good. It makes them more inclined to share your stuff. And then, since you're already creating rich content experiences to delight and amaze, when you create one that you think that these people would really like, you spend that other 5 minutes talking about yourself. You can just talk, or you can say, hey, at Gentle Marissa, I created this hilarious Twitter guide that I think that you would really like. And because we have a relationship, she's much more likely to at least look at it. Maybe she won't link to it. Maybe she won't share it. Maybe it would be better for me if she didn't. But she will look at it, as opposed to if I was just some rando on the internet with an egg profile picture spamming away. Don't do it. You can track your backlinks. I promise this is my second to last slide. You can track your backlinks. Track who's linking to you, where they're coming from. There are a bunch of different tools to do this. My favorite is a tool called Majestic SEO. You can see who's linking to you. You can see how high quality they are. You can start seeing, are there places where I could get more links? And over time, what gets measured gets improved. Track everything. Here's some more tools that you can use to track. They will be in my slides, which you can get later. Thanks for listening.
Hey, Ruth, that was great.
Thanks.
Thank you. I loved it. You make SEO understandable.
That's my goal.
Yes, thank you for that. It's brilliant. I'm way too close to SEO to be able to ask the kind of questions that I think our audience needs to have answered. So if it's okay with everybody, I'll turn it straight over to you guys. Rachel.
Hi.
And I work in our content, and so you mentioned content, but I'd like for you to talk a little bit more about implementing keywords in content and how to not oversaturate, but still be relatable and really focused on people and not also being a keyword robot.
Sure. So the question was, how do you, when you're creating content experiences, implement keywords into content in ways that don't sound spammy and are still human-focused and relatable? One of my favorite tricks when you've written something that you've worked keywords into is to read it out loud. And if it sounds crazy, you need to dial it back with the keywords. Again, the best way to do it is just to say what you were going to say anyway, but use your keyword. You can also use keywords to drive your content strategy. If you find a really good keyword that pertains to what you do, but you don't currently have a page on your site about it, you don't have to hammer it into an existing page. You can create a new page. Let the keyword drive that and say, okay, best honeymoon destinations. What are the best honeymoon destinations? I'm going to create a really great resource about it. And since you're creating a resource about that keyword, it's very easy to use it when you're talking about it.
I'll let you choose the
Yes.
folks.
On a news site like News OK, you're dealing with a million topics, millions of keywords. How do you roll out keywords with that, headline writers, online folks? What to use, what not to use? Sit there and 20 minutes on one story. On a news site like news.
So a news site like News OK is a little bit of a different beast than what I was just talking about. The question was, how do you communicate keywords to staff writers? And there are a couple of different ways to do this. One of the easiest that I usually do is just train your writers in SEO copywriting. Because a lot of times when people are writing, they're not even thinking about keywords, and if you write a whole thing and then add keywords in later, it's rarely as good as when you're thinking about them from the start. So I would empower the staff to do their own keyword research. They have a topic in mind. See if there's a keyword that relates. And it might not even be like, it doesn't matter if you get a lot of traffic as long as it's all of the right traffic. So if you find a keyword that's really great and it doesn't have quite as much traffic as a keyword that is less good for what you're talking about, it's okay to be targeted, especially on a site where you're creating a lot of content. That's where you can really start to get really targeted with keywords. So I always say educate, don't mourn your fate. The more you can do to educate your writers, the better off you'll be.
Can I kind of add an addendum to that?
David has also done SEO for newspapers, you should listen to him.
So one time News OK published an article. It was, "He's done it!" exclamation mark. That was the headline. And that day, there were a lot of people looking for the fact that Sam Bradford had won the Heisman Trophy, and they were not finding our content.
So instead of saying, "He's done it," if they had said, "Sam Bradford wins Heisman Trophy," that would have been a better keyword. Other questions? Oh, yes, hello.
I have a number of friends that have blogs that mean they want to take it to the next level. And it's like they have lots of content, lots of clicks, lots of readers, but they don't know what to do to try to help maybe supplement that with something elaborate. What's the best first step on moving forward with something like that?
I would say, so the question is if you already have a blog and it's pretty successful and you want to take it to the next step. I mean, it sort of depends on where you are. If you've already got pretty good organic search rankings, then the next step might be, I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do. A lot of times pay-per-click advertising might be a good next step. Social media can also be really powerful if you want to take some budget and put it around social media to amplify your posts on Facebook and on Twitter. We've had a lot of success with that with our clients. If you've got a blog and it's got a following, but you're not getting a lot of organic search, if you're getting a lot of direct traffic and a lot of referrals from other sites, but not a lot of organic search, then it's a matter of going in and finding your keywords. And you can start, if you've got hundreds of posts, that can be really overwhelming to be like, I'm just going to go SEO my whole site now. Oh, it's 500 pages. So start with the pages, send your soldiers to the battles you're already winning. Start with your most liked, most shared, most commented posts and start saying, okay, how can I make these more keyword targeted? And that's where you're really going to have the most success. And then that gives you a really easy way to prioritize where you're going to optimize your site next. Does that answer your question? Kind of. We can talk later. Okay. Yeah.
If my keyword is embedded within a paragraph or within a title, and again, I'm new to this, if they search for that keyword and it's within that, is it going to come up?
I mean, that depends on a lot of factors, but having the keyword on the page will certainly help.
Okay.
Yeah.
Question for you. When you put in the blog post,
Mm-hmm.
do you SEO for the category or then the subcategory content? Or are you just trying to mainly focus on the content?
So the question was about blog posts and category and subtopic pages. Category and subtopic pages, a lot of times on a standard out-of-the-box blog software, they can be super powerful SEO landing pages, but they usually aren't because none of the content on them is unique, right? On the category page, it's just a list of all of your other posts. So if that's how your blog is set up and you don't want to spend time creating unique content for each of your category pages, then I would target mostly the blog post itself. However, your category pages are a really great place to target a slightly broader keyword. If you have the time and you want to spend some time changing the design of your category pages so that there is unique content on that page, really make that page a resource for that topic instead of just a list of posts, that can be really powerful for SEO.
I should have warned you guys beforehand. One thing that I've learned about Ruth is that if you don't want the definitive answer to a question, don't ask it. So make sure that you ask questions you really want to know everything about, because she is thorough to the
Our
T.
boss asked the other day if dogs were really colorblind, and I think she wished she hadn't asked that.
It's one of the things we love about
Correct answer is kind of.
Any other questions?
Oh, hello.
So the company I work for, we market internationally, sell English, second language, so it's really useful for us to speak in different languages. How in the SEO world can I, not spending a whole lot of money, be able to put out content in their native language without having whole separate subdomains or separate English sites?
That's a big question. The question was about international SEO, how to create a site that's in a bunch of different languages without spending a lot of money. I'm like really tempted to just be like, oh, good luck with that. But that's not helpful. The biggest thing I would say is get a thorough understanding of hreflang markup and use that as much as you can. International sites is one area, one of very few areas, as David can tell you, that I would ever recommend having subdomains. It can be useful, but it can also make your site real big and real complicated really fast. Yeah. A better answer that does not help you at all would be to hire somebody to do it. Sorry.
We do know somebody then.
We do know somebody. Yeah.
All right, what if you're just an at-home WordPress user and it's kind of new to you? What are the top 3 things you're going to want to make sure you optimize your new site with?
Well, all this stuff.
Is it all, I have lots of links,
Uh-huh.
but paying attention to those things, is that within the WordPress like search, is it on the pages, is it easy to find?
So if you have a site that's at yoursite.wordpress.com, it's a really different beast than if you have your own domain at www.yoursite.com. If you have your own domain. All of the things that I talked about are still good to do. Definitely implement Google Analytics and start seeing what's going on. Definitely research your keywords and start implementing them. Everything I just said is all stuff that you can do with a WordPress site, and like you don't have to sit down and do it all at once. It's not like if you start it and then you don't finish it, everything is going to be ruined and it won't count. Incrementally churn away. If you put on Google Analytics and your site's already pretty fast, great, don't worry about that. If you are really not getting any organic search traffic at all, look at what are some keywords that you could target. The 2 things that I would do for a brand new baby site, and you should do them in conjunction with each other, is 1, do some keyword research and build out a content strategy and calendar around that. So you're thinking, what is the content I'm going to create that's going to surprise and delight and cause people to visit and like and comment and share? And then 2, where are the relationships that I need to build on the internet so that by the time I actually get around to writing this great, beautiful, delightful resource, I have people to whom I can show it to say, hey, check this out, that might help me get more traffic and links and likes and follows and shares.
Hard work.
It is hard work, but it's really useful.
It's how you do it.
Yes.
One final question.
At one time a while back, David actually gave me a nice cheat sheet as far as hierarchy and doing your SEO. In the 5 years, has that changed much, or is it still pretty much like the page 1 is more important than the paragraph and so on and going on?
Well, I mean, not having seen the cheat sheet that David gave you.
That's okay. It's not going to get you any trouble, but I would update it a little bit from now. Maybe Ruth can supply a cheat
One
sheet
more
of some-
resource I would recommend to all of you guys from my former employer. It's called The Beginner's Guide to SEO. I helped build it. It's pretty good. And they keep it fairly current with SEO best practices. It's worth a read.
At moz.com.
At moz.com/beginners-guide-to-SEO. Or you can just Google Beginner's Guide to SEO.
Thank you very much, Ruth.
Thank you.